What's up, my man?
What's up, man?
Felix, whatever.
It's good to have you on the show. Good to meet you. And
So
thank you for coming
likewise.
on short notice. You fighters are kind of used to that sometimes, but I appreciate you making the trip today.
Anytime, my man. Anytime.
So I told you a few seconds ago.
Mhm.
Little tidbit, little story, little something the world.
Oh, we
doesn't know
getting
about
right. We getting right into it.
you. Right into it.
All right.
No time to waste.
Shoot. So something about me. It's interesting, huh? That the fight, something interesting that the fight fans don't know. I give you one. A lot of people don't know that I'm super into animals. Growing up, I was like an animal kid that loved, which every kid loves animals. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it was interesting because I grew up in the islands, right? And I grew up extremely poor, like on like captured land. You know what captured land is?
No.
It's almost like squatting. You get a piece of land, you find a piece of land, you claim the piece of land, you clean it up, you put your house there, right?
Wow.
So we put in this area in Old Harbor, right, where a lot of people started doing that, and it ultimately became a community. A lot of people built up. It's like now, when we went there, it was probably two houses. My mom's house that we built and another house. It was a board house with a sheet metal roof. You know what I mean?
So wait, hold on. So you just pick the piece of land, plop down,
Yeah.
and like build.
And you just build. You just build whatever. It's a board house, so you can always tear it down and move. But
Okay.
yeah, that's what we did, because, hard times at the time. And then we just went there. And I had dogs. I like dogs, right? I came across an opportunity to own a Rottweiler, an exotic, quote unquote, exotic dog.
What do you mean? Came across an opportunity.
Yeah,
Like you just saw one, you're like,
no. My boy had he had a Rottweiler that had puppies. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
he was like, so he gave me one. Actually, he was like, yo, you want a
Right.
puppy? And I was like, yeah. And then I raised them. And as a kid, my mom, she used to go, she used to sell like women's clothes, women's underwear and bras and stuff like that. And she used to walk. She used to have to walk like from where I was in Old Harbor at the place called Techford all the way to Spanish Town, right? Daily. And she used to walk and just sell her stuff, right? And during that time, I would skip school. I would not go to school. I'd be home. I'd just doing my own thing. You know what I mean? And I had these dogs. That was just my companions. I used to like take them up in the woods. Where we lived, it was like in the bushes and shit in the hills. So I used to like take them up.
So you're how old at this point?
This point, I had to be probably like maybe 11.
Oh, okay. And
11 or
how many?
12.
And so how many Rottweilers you have?
I had 2 Rottweilers. I ended up getting a German Shepherd, and then I had a pit bull.
You had 4?
Yeah. And then I used to just walk and roam with them. I raised them. I trained them extremely well. I had no teaching. No one taught me anything. No one taught me. I didn't watch any videos, anything. And I had these dogs.
Wait, hold on. But the Rottweilers were from your boy.
Rottweilers from my boy.
So where the other 2 come from?
The German.
you just found those?
The German Shepherd was. I took him. I took the German Shepherd.
What you mean? I took them.
I just took him, man. It was
From where?
I saw him in someone's yard at the time. I took him. It is what it is.
And so wait, so they were babies at the time, and then you trained all.
Yeah,
of them?
they were babies. Yeah, and then the pit bull. Another one of my friends gave me that one.
Yeah, sure, okay. so then, damn. So you were like fully like a dog.
Yeah, and I trained them. I had them like airtight.
So like what kind of thing
like they would
like tricks and shit?
No, not tricks. I had them as like attack dogs. I had them as guard dogs.
Oh, really? That's kind of fire.
And I fully had them doing it. Like I could take them off leash, sit. You couldn't even come sit next to me. You could sit next to me, be completely good. If you raise your hand to me, they would attack. You couldn't even shake my hand. If you touched me, physical contact, they would attack.
Wait, are you serious? That's so cool.
And I was maybe about 12, 11, and I had them fucking.
What's like did they ever attack people?
Yeah, it happened. It happened like one time. I was there was a guy one night tried to break into where we lived, and they got out and they attacked him, tore him up bad, But the story is that I was a little dog boy. That was the thing. Like they would just know I became like, oh, the dog boy, Randy, the dog boy, the dog boy. It's like, if you know, you're talking about the dog boy.
And so what was so you were living with your mom though at that time?
Yeah.
So then like, what was she thinking about all your dogs? She liked this idea?
She didn't care. You
'Cause
know,
they protected her,
it
too.
kept me out of trouble. She kind of liked the animals low key.
Also, how long do you have to spend to train a dog like that? It's a long time, no?
Yeah, it takes time. Honestly, maybe it depends, like 2 months or so, a month. But it's just like consistent. It's just consistency.
Wait, but how did you learn how to train them without like YouTube or any of those?
There was no at that time. There's no YouTube. I don't have internet.
Wait, so how'd you?
We
know what
don't
to
even
do?
have electricity. We have like lamps at night and shit like that. And I'm telling you, and I train them. I train them like on my
but
own.
what did you do? Like, what did you say to them? Like, what did you do with them? What do you
Same
mean?
thing.
I just train them. Like,
What do you-
How's
what do
it?
you mean?
Okay, so like how? Okay, so you have a puppy and you're trying to train it to like.
You start
every
with
ti-
like the simple stuff, like sit. Everybody knows,
okay.
Sit.
but with the raised hand and attack type vibe.
Yeah.
How does that work?
My friends,
Oh, okay.
so I'd get like one of my friends to come over, and like we would just kind of like reenact stuff, and like you trying to get them to do it over and over and over. So it's just repetition,
crazy.
And then we didn't have like the bite sleeves.
Yeah, I was thinking that
So
too.
we'd have to make it. So we had like cloth and,
yeah,
and shit
yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? And we wrap a whole bunch of t-shirts and shit like that, and then get them to bite you.
And how long did you have these dogs for?
Years, man, maybe about 5 years or so. 5, maybe even 6 years before I came to America.
So I read something. So you were born in Massachusetts, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you went to
Then I went to Jamaica.
for how long?
I went to Jamaica since, when they sent me to Jamaica, I was probably like 1 or 2, and then I came back from Jamaica when I was 17.
Okay, and then when you were 17, you were back here.
Back here, and I went to the Jamaica High School in Queens, New York.
Okay, and then so you basically
Ever since, it's just been back and forth.
Interesting. And as a kid, like, were you interested in fighting? Like, were you a fighter naturally?
Not necessarily. I didn't think I would be a fighter, but I always was I was aggressive. I was kind of like, I was just a free-spirited kid. I was just one of those people who I'd try anything, you know what I mean? But my plan was never to become a boxer or become a MMA fighter or nothing like that. It was not until I was about 15 I started training. When I started training, then I was like, all right, let me do this. But prior to that, there was no signs of me becoming a fighter or nothing like that.
Why did you
I wanted to be a vet.
You wanted to be a vet?
Yeah, veterinarian.
Because you loved animals that
Yeah.
much. Why did you why'd you start training in the beginning?
My mom, she was like, you know what? Hey, I was aggressive kid. You know what I mean? I would get into fights like anybody else. You know what I mean? And for me, I would just feel like I was not taking any kind of talk from nobody. I had a problem with authority, and for me, it's like I'm just not gonna take no type of disrespect.
Right.
So I had a problem with authority, and my mom was like, "Oh, you want to fight? You like to fight people? All right, I'm gonna show you. Go." So she brought me to the gym, and she's like, "Go fight. You want to fight, right?" Gets my ass whooped, right?
Yeah.
And then
Humbles you.
humbles me. You know what I mean? And then I kept going, and I always wanted to get it back. Until I started getting it back. And the rest is history. I've been in the boxing gym ever since, and then made the transition to MMA and jiu-jitsu at least. Jiu-jitsu made the transition to jiu-jitsu, and the rest is history.
Why do you think you were aggressive as a kid?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Just the culture of everyone around me. You know what I mean? The culture of the people around me. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up, my upbringing was really intense. You know what I'm saying? So like, but I just saw it as normal. But it was not normal about it. I grew up around a lot of like just intense motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And that was just normal to me. That type of behavior was normal to me. And then you're a product of your environment.
Mm-hmm. And how many? Do you have siblings?
Yeah.
How many?
I have 8 brothers. 8 brothers, 2 sisters.
So it's 11 of you.
Yeah.
God, wait. So did you guys all like grow up living together?
No. My dad he had like he has kids. He had kids all over the place. At the time when he was younger, he was out here. He was out here. You know what I mean? And it's actually pretty interesting that we all some of us have different moms and all that, but we all came together, and we still we were drawn to each other, and we all to this day, it's more than keeping contact. You know, it's like, yeah, I have a sibling that I keep in contact. Like we all like grew together in a way.
All 11 of you.
All of us.
So there's not even like one or two that are kind of
That's
like
just random. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, that's my brother. Nah, we all like
so
pick up the phone right now, talk to him, talk to everybody. We're all just like
that's
tight.
amazing.
It is
to have different
it's
parents.
very unique.
That is very unique.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys all, when you go back to Jamaica, like see each other?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. And, you know, and my dad's always super proud of that. That's like, and he's, you know, very, I don't want to get too deep, but, you know, apologetic, and, you know, it saddens him a whole bunch of stuff, but it's like, he's just proud and glad that, for him, he calls it a miracle that we're all like still this close to this day somehow.
And because I think, and I remember from your post-fight interview and from your last fight, and you spoke about your dad, and it was, I believe, the first time he got to see you fight. So he was away for a while.
Yeah.
And what was the reason that like this time he's out of jail?
No.
So he was able to see you how?
He was able to see me because the warden he was able to see me. They let them have a night, like a late night out. Let everyone stay out just to see me fight. So I got like a whole support system
That's awesome.
up in Lewisburg.
So he's in Lewisburg, and he's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Since you were a boy?
Since I was like a little kid.
What's that been like? So your mom basically raised you solo.
Yeah, but again, I don't want to get too crazy.
You don't have to talk about things you don't want to talk
about. But like my mom got deported, right? When she got deported, that's how I ended up in Jamaica at such a young age. That's why I tell you about captured land and all that type of shit. It's like, yo, what you doing on captured land? Like, you're an American child. You know what I mean? My mom got deported, and I had to go with her, right? So when I went, I was living in Jamaica. She has nothing now. She's just poor. We have nothing in Jamaica, right? So now I'm in the ghetto. I'm just back. And what am I going to do? She has this kid with her. I'm the baby, you know what I mean? And I was just raised in Jamaica. Like, but
was the reasoning of why she got deported linked to
my dad?
Your dad?
Yeah, all of it. You know, he went down under like the RICO Act, and like it was a whole big thing. I've
had a lot of mafia guys on my show, so I know all about RICO.
It's a whole thing.
And especially during that's during what?
The 90s era.
The 90s, that's when they cracked down, and RICO was like a huge thing. So interesting.
Yeah. So like it was just madness, you know what I mean? Lost everything. My dad was on top of the world, you know what I mean? Everybody. I remember as a kid, I'm a little kid. I got pictures. I can show you pictures on my phone of just me decked out. I'm like a 2-year-old like baby, just jewels everywhere. You know, my dad rings, everything. You know what I mean?
And this is in Springfield. This is in Springfield, right?
Brooklyn.
Oh,
Remember,
Brooklyn.
It was just like things were happening in Springfield. I don't know nothing about Springfield. Things were just happening in Springfield because of the business. You see what I'm saying?
I got what you're saying.
My mom took a trip to Springfield.
There's a lot in both Brooklyn and Springfield.
You see what I'm saying? I happen to be born in Springfield, but I'm not a Springfield person.
You're Brooklyn.
I don't know nothing about Springfield. You know what I mean? So when I was born there, because she happened to be out there at the time, and then you know. That's why Springfield, Massachusetts. People are like, Springfield, Mass. I'm like, I don't know nothing about Springfield, Mass. I'm more New York, Brooklyn,
right,
than anything, and Jamaica, the island. And then people are like, yo, why you don't have an accent? You know, they're like, yeah, man, we can switch it up. Yeah. We can switch it up anytime. If they want to talk patois, we can show the patois on them. We can do anything. You know, it's just, you know.
But you have the Brooklyn vibe to you too. You got the best of both worlds.
All of it is what it is.
That's so interesting. So do you remember like, what's your most vivid memory of your childhood, like with your parents, or is it mostly just with your mom? Like, what age did your dad get sent away?
He got sent away. I was 1.
Okay.
I was 1 or 2 or something like that when he got sent away, and it's crazy because like a lot of my memories is like I would still come see him. Like sometimes as a baby, like I remember talking to him on the phone. I remember there was a time where he could do video. We're doing like this video. I would have to go to this fucking box thing and see him on a video. It was weird. But I always remember, even though he wasn't there, he was always there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
always like he was just it wasn't this weird thing to me just because the way my household was set up. It was like that was normal. Like I would always talk to him. Even though I wouldn't see him much, he was always involved in everything. Like I would always talk to him every damn day. You know, even if I'm in trouble, like I'm gonna call your dad, and I'd be like, oh, don't call my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in a way, my dad was still there. And then he had a lot of reach outside of being in there, you know what I'm saying? So I had like uncles and quote unquote uncles that weren't even my uncles, you know what I'm saying? Just like his peoples would always come check on, they would drop off, drop off this, drop off. They would just always look out. I remember even when they sent me, I came back, I was living in Jamaica, but I came back to America for like a summer. And I remember just as a kid walking down the block, me and my older brother, like, we used to play this game of like how much money we could get just walking down the block. So we'd like walk down the block and people would just see us and see like, he's like, oh, this is the general's son, General you, and just start peeling off cash to us just because like,
wow,
just because of my dad. You know what I'm saying?
Was there any resentment though that you ever felt because of the fact that then you couldn't spend the time that you might have wanted? Never.
Nah.
That's amazing.
Nah, it was weird because I feel like that's because just the communication was always there. You know what I mean? So I never, granted, there's a lot of stuff I missed out on for sure. I would have loved, but I feel like in Jamaica we say, well, yeah, in a sea, hot in a leap, right? So it's like kind of like ignorance is bliss, I guess. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like it's out of sight, out of mind, I guess, right? So it's like for me, I don't think I'm missing anything. You know what I mean? I'm still here. I'm just doing whatever. I'm living my life, So I didn't really think about it too much. Maybe subconsciously there's things, I'm sure, but nah.
And what's his sentence like?
I think it's a lot. I think it was a double life, double life. So each life is 25, so that's what, 50 years or so.
And he's how many years in?
I don't know. 20 something, probably like the first life sentence is done. But also there's a lot of different laws and stuff that are changing.
It's so crazy. It's a special thing, especially with the RICO and kind of
the drugs and stuff like that are different now. You know what I mean? So a lot of the time for like the weed and stuff like that, that a lot of those things are different. So a lot of that has to get retracted. So we're working on it.
So it's still in the process with like lawyers and all that.
Yeah.
And how old is he?
Well, I would say like, how old is he now? 58, 57, yeah.
And you visit him or speak to him frequently still?
Yeah, he called me yesterday.
That's awesome. That's pretty amazing. And I think like it's inspiring too, like I think on a level of maintaining relationships with people that matter to you, especially under very difficult circumstances. And I'm sure, I hope like people out there that listen to you who might have a parent that's incarcerated, just showing that you can still feel that love and on both ways is very important.
And again, it's I think it's a person-to-person basis too. You know what I mean? Because like if you're actively angry about something, I was never angry about anything. I knew my dad's a hustler, my mom's a hustler, right? Everyone around me, I grew up around nothing but hustlers and gangsters, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And I saw where that led you, you know what I mean? Right. But I knew why they did it, you know what I mean? So for me, I'm like, all right, well, they just try to get money to better their life. Right. They don't know any else. They're immigrants.
Right.
They don't know anything else. This is what they know.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do what they gotta do to get the money. And so there was no resentment, because as I grew up, my thing is I personally felt like if he was still around and everything was still moving how it was supposed to be moving, that's how I wouldn't have been who I am today, right? I wouldn't have been the person I am today, because I would have just fell in line.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. But when I see the consequences and I've seen everything, and him constantly telling me like, yo, like you're special, you could do this, you could do something different, like, you're a smart kid, you know what I'm saying? Like he always like told me those things, you know what I mean? Always just like, nah, like you can be better than everybody, you can do this, you're gonna be the one, like, you know what I mean? So I take those lessons from him and I just put it somewhere else.
It's pretty incredible too, because I feel like for him to hear, from where he's at, to hear about your career and like all the awesome things you're doing and going to continue to do, that must be such a proud moment for him, and also like pretty surreal, like he's probably followed your whole career, and then like this was his first time being able to watch you live. That must be like an insane feeling.
It is.
I can't even imagine what that feels like for him. You know what I mean?
He used to box back in the day, so he used to try to tell me
His
like
hands.
stuff to do, like we should be doing it. Makes you. I'm like, listen, man, what are you talking about? It's like you have no idea what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm gonna show you what I do. So he got to see how I look and what I do. And he's like, oh damn.
Yeah.
Especially my last fight, that
Yeah,
performance was insane. So he's
know.
looking like, yo, this. Oh,
Yeah. He's like,
it's like, oh, he's in his head. He's like, oh, this motherfucker could fight.
yeah. Did you know that he was going to be able to watch it before?
Yeah, he told me.
Okay, so
Told
you
me.
knew.
Yeah, he told me. So the warden, he's been there a while. He got a lot of respect now. It's just he put in his time, and it was like like I said, sometimes they would be able to hear my fights. So they can't watch it, but it's locked down. So they'll leave the guards would leave the TV on. So the whole cell block would hear it. And whenever I won, they would all kick the door.
Yeah.
And the whole cell block is just rumbling of them kicking the door in celebration of my win.
That's
So
awesome.
like it's
Do you have videos of that by any chance?
no.
They don't see it.
All right, there's no video of that.
So interesting.
It's maximum security.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. It's dope. Whenever I go there and visit, everybody showing me love, from the guards to just other people. You know what I mean? So it's always love. It's always love. It's been always love with my dad, and me and my dad got a great relationship. My mom, same thing. Me and her have a great relationship. We were more together, especially when we were in Jamaica. So it's how we butt heads a lot more because we're there and I'm there. And for her, she didn't want to see me when I was in Jamaica. The reason they even sent me back, she didn't want to see me go down, quote unquote, a bad path in Jamaica. But moms are overprotective.
Of course.
So a lot of times she would go to work and do what she's doing, selling her clothes, and I'd be just around. I'd just be around my dogs. I'd be up in the hills. Even when I go back to visit, I brought her with me one time to go visit, and dude was looking at me, and I'm like, oh, my uncle goes, you remember him? You remember this you? And then he's like, no, I don't remember. And he's looking at me. And I remember I was telling her the story. She never believed me about the dog stories. I'm like, I swear to God, I'm telling you, you think I'm joking? Like, because she had a dog, I was like, yo, I could train this thing to be a monster.
You have dogs now?
I have a pit bull, yeah.
He does some tricks.
Well, it's her dog, but it's different. It's not like my dogs in Jamaica.
Like,
That's a family dog.
Yeah.
That dog was different.
Yeah.
Those dogs was different. And I trained it. I was telling her like, yo, I could train this dog to do whatever, man, whatever you want. I could make him be like, he'll be listening to everything, just like at attention, at ease, whatever. You don't need a leash or nothing, But so we're looking at the guy, and the guy's looking at me, and he's like, no, I don't remember. And he's like, oh, hold on, are you what a little dog boy? Are you what a little dog boy, Randy? And I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, yo, and she was like, oh my God, like he recognized you as the dog boy.
That's so funny.
It was a wrap. I'm telling her.
Damn. So do you, like when you go back to Jamaica, do they all know you as like UFC fighter? Like that
Now, yeah.
Yeah. You
Now.
like that clout, don't you?
It's not even about the clout.
Nah,
It's just, for me, it's more like when I go back to my neighborhood, it's cool, to see like, for me, I want to show them like, no matter the circumstances, because I'm from here. I'm from this. You know what I mean? When I hear people say, oh, I'm from the gutter, I'm from this, it's cool. I get it. Everybody has their struggles, but I'm truly from nothing.
Yeah.
And I don't try to glorify that. I don't try to like put it on the forefront of my story or nothing like that. I'm from nothing. And I love to go back and show those young kids like, listen, man, it's way more to the world than just this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are just stuck in their little box, and for what I'm doing is an anomaly. MMA, people don't even in Jamaica don't know what the fuck MMA is. You know what I mean? But it's another avenue for you to get out. It's another avenue for you to build and create something of yourself. And even if you don't make it to wherever but what I've done in martial arts for me has been the journey of martial arts has taken me beyond just wanting to become champion. Obviously, those are my ultimate goals, right? But the things that martial arts has given me, besides just the ability to learn how to defend myself, it's amazing. It's amazing.
What for you? What are some of the biggest things that MMA has given you as a human being?
Opportunity. Opportunity to tell my story. Opportunity to use my platform to reach back to people for where I was at. Opportunity to have a life that I've always wanted. You know what I mean? Not that I'm crazy rich or anything, but it's just I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable, and the only reason I'm comfortable is because of martial arts. I know nothing else. Me, the kid who I am, if y'all knew who I was before this, I shouldn't be doing any of the stuff that I'm doing. No one could have predicted I'd be doing any of the stuff that I'm doing. You know, even my own family members, they tell you, you know, like, nah.
What was the switch though? Was it start your beginning of training?
Yeah, just martial arts. Legitimately saved my life. Martial arts, you know, getting into martial arts. And another thing I credit to Sensei Nardu is my head instructor. Meeting him, he gave me a whole new outlook on just combat sports. Initially at 15, I just wanted to box. I wanted to hurt people,
Right.
you know. And when I had to go to, you know, Hensel Gracie Academy, right here on 34th.
Yep.
So there was a tech school. After I left high school, I had to go to school. So I was going to this tech school. My brother was like, yo, you got to go to school, bro. You got to go to school or get a job. You got to do something. I was like, all right, I'll go to school. So I was going to TCI and I was studying industrial electronics, right?
Okay.
And I was boxing on and off at the time still, you know. And I wanted to find another boxing gym to go to because I was traveling back and forth to Jamaica again. And it's like everything, I just needed a good gym to settle down. And I saw every time I Googled anything, it was MMA this or MMA that or jiu-jitsu this. And I'm like, yo, what is this? I didn't know what it was. I never even watched it on TV. And then one day I saw BJ Penn versus Joe Stevenson, right? And I was like, oh shit, this is crazy, right? And then it was just in the back of my mind, whatever. Then one day I wanted to train. I got excited and I'm Googling boxing gyms again. And I see Hensel Gracie Academy. And I'm like, oh, jiu-jitsu, that's those cage fighting stuff. I'm like, let me go in this gym and see what they doing, man. Let me go in there and see what they doing. Like, I know I got better hands than all these dudes in my mind. I'm like, I could box these dudes up easy. I go there. Dude got gis on. Shout out to Gino. Right? Gino was there. That was the first person I ever rode with. He had his gi on or whatever. They all tiny little dudes. Some of them, you know, some of them are big. And I'm like, whatever. They put me in a gi. Like, yeah, go ahead, you can roll. You know, get my first roll. They showed me how to do an arm bar. This little dude tied me in a pretzel. He did whatever the fuck he wanted to do to me. It was so embarrassing, right? And I was just like, all right, whatever.
Humbling.
It was humbling. And then at the time, I'm broke. I'm just going to school. And I'm like, yo, I like this. I want to keep coming back.
Yeah.
So I got my refund from, you know, you get the student loan refund that you get at the end of the year. I went over there and I just gave them everything. I gave them all. It was probably like, it wasn't a lot. It was probably like $3,000 or something, $4,000 or something like that. I just gave it to them. And I was like, how long could this get me to train? Right? And I just trained. For mad long until it was ran out. And then I was getting good, but I was going every day in between classes, twice a day. I was just grinding. And then it ran out. And ultimately Pete was a Jamaican dude who worked the front desk. And Pete goes, listen, man, I know you like to train. But I know you don't have no money, right? So how would you like to come in, clean the mats early, and then train for free? And I was like, yeah. So I used to clean the mats at Hensel Gracie Academy on 30th Street over there, and then I used to train and let me train, and I was just grinding. Everybody knew I wanted to fight. I was one of them brash kids who always. Yeah. I was like, you know, I was talking and telling people like, yo, yeah, I want to fight. But
what is it about like why at this point in your life, why do you fight? Now
I fight for money, 100%.
Yeah,
I fight for money. A lot of people ain't gonna tell you that.
No, I respect whenever a fighter says that. It's like, of course.
I fight for a better life for me and my family. Period. Nothing more, nothing less. And if I inspire people along the way, plus, hell yeah, I love it. But I'm not. Some guy will tell you I'm setting out to. My whole goal is fighting is bigger than me, and I want to help these people over here and want them to. That's great and all. That is a part of that. I love that. I genuinely love that. Mm-hmm. But that's not why I'm fighting. I'm fighting for me.
Yeah.
I'm fighting for my kids. You know what I mean? I'm fighting to create a legacy bigger than what my dad left. You know what I'm saying? I want to change. I'm changing the narrative for me and mine, and that's what I want.
So now let's shift to fighting real quick. To 15 days out.
Yeah, about.
We were talking about it a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. Khaos Williams featured prelim bout. Mm-hmm. ESPN big pay-per-view. How are we feeling about it as of today?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good, ready to go.
How are your toes, by the way? That's what I wanted to ask you. Are they going to be dislocated again?
They're not gonna be dislocated this time.
You sure about that?
I'm positive. This time we're gonna put it in it. We're gonna put it in the right places so it don't break. Right? But it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. They had to go in, reattach some ligaments and slide up some bones back into places, and it is what it is.
You can, and so is kicking like? Do you change the way you kick now?
No, it's strong. I'm back.
So like, if you kick the same way you did last time,
will it break?
Yeah.
It's stronger now because it broke. So the thing is, it calcifies.
Oh, okay.
So if you break, say if you broke your arm right now,
Yeah.
or you broke your knuckles, right? If it heals and it heals properly, it's gonna be stronger than what it was before. So it's not compromised. And I have
Is
a
that
metal
true for
pit in
everything
there.
though? Because I feel like some people like they break like the same hand over and over. It's because they have
If it doesn't heal properly,
it's
if
the
it doesn't
healing.
set right, you know what I mean, and the certain ligaments are off and all that, you know.
Fuck. So
But once you get a good doctor and you do it right and you take the proper time to let it truly heal, it'll be double as strong as it was before.
and so we spoke about it a little bit earlier, but like, what do you see in your eyes without giving away your game plan? Like how you and Khaos goes down.
Listen, man, I think Khaos is a tremendous fighter. I think he's athletic. I think he's powerful, which is his biggest asset and the great equalizer. You know what I mean? Is that one hitter quitter. But I believe that I'm highly skilled, man. Ultimately, skills pay the bills, you know. And if you can't hit nothing with that power, then you're gonna have a tough time. But I'd say he's one of my biggest threats ever in my career. And I see me just styling on him, man. I see me just picking him apart, you know.
In a kind of like dancing around, hitting, not get hit, that type of
Just slick, man. Anywhere we take it, if you want to take it to the ground, you know, I think I could beat him there. You know, I think I could beat him on the feet. I think I could do a lot of things in this fight. I have multiple ways to win in this fight, you know, whereas I believe he has one, which is super dangerous. His one is a motherfucker.
Yeah. What's it like being in a cage when you know like that your opponent's principal way of winning is really just to take your head off?
I don't know. It's just, how do I explain that? My personality has always just been very nonchalant, and I think that fighting brings out who you are the most.
Right.
And I think that's what it is. You'll see me just being me. I'm not gonna panic. I'm not gonna do anything out of character. You know, I've seen that, and that comes from confidence and sparring,
right,
and training. I've seen it in training multiple times. So no matter how intense he's coming at me, I'm not gonna be flustered. You know what I mean? I'm gonna see it and still execute what I need to get off.
Do you feel like before you get into the cage, because like I've known you for like an hour or so now, extremely nice guy, like, but you go in there, your job is to literally go hurt someone viciously if you can. Do you feel like you turn something on that's like this different mindset, or no? Just
I don't know, man.
Because like if somebody met you like they didn't know you, they'd be like, all right, this is a nice ass dude. Like, you know what I mean? They don't expect that you go and punch people for a living.
There's no switch really. I train every day. I'm in the gym every day, so essentially I'm just doing what I do every day with just no gear on in front of everybody.
In your underwear.
In my underwear, unfortunately, in front of the world, naked to the world.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. It's just there's no attachments to it. No, there's no emotional attachments to what I do. You know what I mean? That's why it's always weird to me when people get, oh, now I'm mad, so now it's gonna be this, and I'm like, bro, was gonna break your face with a smile. You know what I mean? Like, you think now that you're mad, if I wasn't mad and I'm sitting and you let me mount you and I'm sitting on your chest, you think I wasn't gonna posture up and crack you with this elbow, right? Or because now I'm mad, I'm gonna do it? No, it's all gonna be, my intent will remain the same, and that's just comes from being resolved from the beginning and understanding what you're getting yourself into, and knowing I'm resolved to the very end of what this is, you know. So won't change. Is
there a mental preparation that you undergo as well, either during fight camp, before, during the fight? How do you keep yourself mentally sharp as well?
No. For me, and
therapy?
Everybody's different. I don't have a therapist. She's been telling me I need therapy for the longest.
Yeah.
But
we gotta get you in general, not you like, not like you have so many issues. I feel like in general, like therapy is good.
It is. I'm sure it is. And I'm open to therapy. I think that I personally do need therapy, but I don't know. I just don't think for the sport that I do, I think that I have a healthy mindset.
Yeah.
You know, for what I do, you know, personally. I don't think that I don't need a mental preparation because it's like I'm not in my own head.
Right.
It's not a lot of extra thoughts. You know, it's not too many minds.
Right.
You know, it's for me, it's a level of emptiness, man. It's just weird, you know?
It's what I was telling you when we were getting food. Like, y'all are fucking strange.
Yeah, we are.
Crazy psychopaths. Like,
we are a little out there.
But I love it. I think it's like you guys are living so, I mean, a lot of you, I'm not going to say all of you. Like, it's so like, it's got to be so fulfilling too. I mean, you guys work so fucking hard.
Absolutely.
Physically, emotionally, everything.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of, you guys are different kind of human beings.
For sure. I agree. You know, it's nothing like, you know, making so many sacrifices in your life and putting it all out on the line every day, 3 sessions a day, diets, and just grinding, pushing your boundaries and testing your body to that very limit before you actually break or do permanent harm to yourself. You know what I mean? You're playing with that boundary and you're pushing it further and further and further, and you're breaking boundaries. It's very satisfying to go in the octagon and perform against another man that's doing the same thing as you and be successful in front of the world. You know, that when you raise your hand, there's nothing like that. It's a drug. It's a drug.
If I tell you in 5 years, where do you want to be at?
For me?
Career, personally.
For me, I want to have a fat bank account. At the
Tell
ultimately,
Dave to start negotiating them contracts. Let's go.
I want to have so much money. And for me, it's like, I don't even care about fame and stuff like that. I just want my family to be good. I want to be able to help people, you know, that I came up with. I want to be able to open my gym and help other fighters achieve that feeling that I just described to you. That's it for me, man. I just want to be paid, you know, and I want to be able to pay it forward, you know? So whether that comes with me being a world champion, whether that comes with me having to create using my platform or the money that I get from fighting to create other avenues for money outside of fighting, whatever it may be. I just want to be successful, and I want people to know me as a bad motherfucker. Like, when this dude fights, you know, like, all right, he nice. That's it. That's it. When people mention my name, I just want them to say, yo, yeah, Randy's nice. You notice how when they talk about Jose Aldo, for instance, you talk about Jose Aldo, people will be like, yo,
he's a bad motherfucker.
who's the top this? Who's the top dog? Who's the top this? Back in the day when they used to talk about him, right? Who's the top? And it'd be like, oh, the best takedown defense or the best this. And it'd be comparing like who's the best guy. And then you'd say like, oh yeah, but Jose Aldo. And then someone would be like, nah, but that's Jose Aldo though. You can't that's Jose Aldo though. You know what I mean? Like that's how I want people to talk about me, you know?
Is for you, like, if I say legacy, that's the legacy?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Enough said.
Yeah.
Well, I could talk to you for hours, but I sincerely appreciate you taking the time, especially, you know, with the fight in a couple weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing you get in there, especially now that I know you. Now I'm gonna be standing up on the TV as opposed to before, and I might have been laying down. But no, I appreciate you, and I think that, like, honestly, on so many levels, I think just the way that you approach life in general, business, family, whatever it is very like reasonable and like intelligent, you know. And I think like that's I hope that people feel the same way listening to you, and I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time.
No doubt, my man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Boom.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at felix.levine, and if you have something to say, please leave a comment.